Hi, my name is Elizabeth and I'm a guide with Hike for Life. And I'm actually about to head out on a hike today. But before I go, I want to show you all some of the stuff that I have in my backpack and talk about the 5 fundamentals, which is a list of things that we believe every hiker should take on every hike, regardless of how long the hike is. So let's look at some of the things I have in my pack. I always carry water. Hydration is the first essential. Especially in Colorado, it really helps to stay hydrated because we have a very dry climate. And then in the winter, I usually choose to use things like Nalgene's or canteens instead of hydration packs because the tubes will freeze in Camelbacks if the weather's really cold. The second fundamental is nutrition. And snacks will help to keep your energy up while you're hiking. But as a second added bonus in the winter, they actually help to keep your body warm because food increases your metabolism and warms up your body. So you'll want to have at least a couple of snacks and maybe take out twice the amount that you plan to use just in case you end up staying out longer, or maybe if you're hiking with a friend and they didn't bring a snack, you can share. The third element in our 5 fundamentals is protection. Now that involves everything that I'm wearing. And protection means protection from the elements. So if it's going to be a rainy day or a snowy day, you'll want to have some type of outerwear that's windproof and waterproof, something that'll protect you from the elements. Now one element that we have in Colorado that's really intense is sunshine. So sunglasses are helpful, also sunscreen. And a lot of people feel like they don't need to have these things in the winter because it's colder, but it's absolutely not true. It helps to have sunscreen in the winter even more because if there's a layer of snow on the ground, all that sunlight's beaming off the snow and reflecting back at you. So you can get really bad sunburns in the winter if you don't have sunscreen or sunglasses. Now, navigation is something that we usually take care of for our guests here at Hike for Life, and we love to teach people how to use navigation. And that's our 4th essential, having some system of navigation. I use several different kinds of navigation depending on where I'm at. I always have a trail map with me to show me where I'm going. I always have a compass to help me use my trail map. Now, to use a compass and a map, you actually have to have some amount of training or the knowledge of how to do that. So it's helpful to take a class. I also usually hike with a personal locator beacon or a Garmin. This is a GPS device, and this can help me to identify my location. And then the third thing I use for navigation is my cell phone, but I don't rely on it. I use apps where I can download trail maps, but I never rely on that because the batteries in the phone can drain, and I always like to have a backup of GPS and map and compass. Now, the last thing on our list of 5 fundamentals is mitigation, which is just a fancy way of saying emergency gear, what you're going to carry with you to help you in case there's an emergency. So I usually like to keep a first aid kit in my backpack at all times, and I carry this even for very short day hikes. It's always good to have a first aid kit with you. And then I have a little bag with some extra tools in it, things like a headlamp in case I get stuck out after dark. And then in the winter especially, I like to carry a space blanket. These are really helpful for staying warm in an emergency. So it's like a foil-lined blanket. It's orange on one side and silver on the other. And this is a great emergency essential that I think every hiker should carry with them. All right, so just to go over it again, our 5 fundamentals are hydration, nutrition, sun protection and element protection, navigation, and mitigation. And I hope you all can join me out on the trail sometime. In the meantime, happy hiking.